It's right, because essentially that's what it is. It's basically when that film came out and launched, everyone was like, actually, we have the technology to do this now. This isn't something we need to create for a fictional film. It's something that we can actually do. And you can go into meta. You've got stuff like Minecraft, which is essentially kind of like a very pixelated, basic version of a meta world with basic building blocks and stuff. But, you know, the fundamentals and the foundations are already there to create a real life version of Ready Player One. In terms of that level of graphics, okay, we need to improve the infrastructure, but it's like improving the infrastructure for, you know, to allow for everyone to have electric cars. We could have electric cars. The only thing that was stopping people from having electric cars was the fact that actually we need more charging points, the impact it's going to have on source and energy. Ready Player One is a reality. It can be done, and it's already there, and that's what metaverse is all about. But when you think about what is NFTs and all this kind of stuff, when you're watching a film Ready Player One and he wins all that coin, that is going to be your digital cryptocurrency in which you trade in the places like metaverse. And when he buys all those materials, some which come in the real world and some which he uses within Ready Player One, that is essentially what an NFT is. It's when you're gaming and you buy a skin for a game, or you go into FIFA and you buy a pack. That is essentially an NFT. Basically, you saying, I want to buy this, I want to own this, and I want to use this kit when I'm playing this, ultimate, team on FIFA, or when I'm, playing Call of Duty, I want to use this skin. And you can only use that skin if you pay and you own it. The difference is in games, multiple people can do it. The difference with NFTs, only one person can own it. So it becomes more valuable and rare. So yeah, will we get sucked into that universe? I think we already are. Just look at the noise and chatter around, metaverse. Look at Facebook talking about, how metaverse is the future. So it's not a case of will we, it's about when will we get sucked into that universe. And Callum, you said it earlier, you're a bit skeptical about what it all is and what it all means, and you want to get some facts around it, but that doesn't mean that you never will. The decision you make in the future is going to be like, oh no, it's all BS. It's nothing. It's all hearsay. No. You're going to read into it and you're going to see other people get involved into it, and you're going to jump on the bandwagon. The same everyone jumped on the bandwagon with TikTok, Instagram, Facebook when it first launched, MySpace. MySpace died because it never stayed up with the times. But every time something new comes out, everybody jumps on the bandwagon. And it's us as a community, it's us as a people that decide the longevity and whether that thing is going to stay or go. And based on the reaction and what I see from people and how they talk about it in all facets, and when the CEO of Facebook comes out and says, this is the future and we're renaming our company to Meta, you have to take it seriously. It's not going anywhere. Will the real world get neglected because of Meta? I think no. Because in the Western world, and what we call the Western, the more developed world, potentially, as we get distracted, we're distracted by our mobile phones now. Even before we came to the meeting, how much time was I spending on my mobile, checking things? I got my laptop in front of me. I'd probably say, some of my time is spent in a world that doesn't really exist, is all digital online. But that's because we adapt to new technology, and metaverse is essentially a form of new technology. So I think in the more developed world, yes, but the undeveloped world, no, because when you go to more deprived areas and third world countries, they're still trying to get up to speed with the ideas of, accessories to like computers and Wi-Fi internet connection and better resources to the basics of, human standards of living. And it's shocking, and it shouldn't be the case in the world. And together as a people, we need to be doing more. But I think, no, not in our lifespan, potentially in, 50 years on. But I hope that people see this as an advancement of technology to explore more, which is why most people aren't a fan of Elon, but I am, because of what he's doing with SpaceX. And we'll talk about Elon in a bit with what he did with Twitter. But, I am a fan of Elon, what he's doing with SpaceX and space exploration, and essentially having that technology and improving our, foundational technology places is only going to improve what we do as a people. So yes and no. I think the more developed world will get more sucked into it and start neglecting everyday stuff. But I don't think that will be the norm. I think there will be a case of a life outside of metaverse. But we're not talking about impacts of this for It'd be my kids when they get to my age. I'm 33. I think when my kids get to my age, will that become a serious topic of discussion? Are we neglecting the real world for a virtual world? The second element I want to talk about since the last podcast, and quickly, is Elon Musk buying Twitter. Fair play to him. And it's actually not really cost him anything because he upfronted his Tesla shares and got collateral. Actually, Elon Musk has bought Twitter for pretty much free. It's because if he was to buy it out with cash, he's actually borrowed cash from other people who's upfront it, and he's used his Tesla shares as his guarantee. But Elon Musk buying Twitter, is it good or bad? I don't know the actual answer to that at this stage. But there is a lot of information out there right now about it. I think it's going to be good and bad because he's introducing potentially a pricing model for it. So will that impact the number of users within the platform? I'm not too sure. But I think generally it'll be good because the platform is seeming to have a little bit more relevance now. He's brought the platform back into the forefront, and Twitter is completely different to, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat. I'd be interested to see what model he introduces from a pricing perspective and what impact that has on advertising and what does that mean. But I guess all we can do is wait to see what news comes out from that once he's actually fully taken over. We know he's put the offer in and he's agreed to buy it and the shareholders, so that will take some time. We'll have to wait to see what Elon tweets out, really, from the platform. So there are the main key things. I want to keep it quite short, 15, 20 minutes, these podcasts. A lot coming up in the future episodes. We're going to be talking about the future of Google and what does that mean across SEO and PPC over the next two episodes. We have a couple of guests lined up which will come out in the following weeks. Someone from a video background, Rashpal Sagu from Box Media, agency owner here in Leeds, and also Gareth Healy, ex-CEO of Creative Race and owner of Beyond Noise, and launched a book which he will be discussing and giving his insight from an agency perspective in terms of what the marketplace is doing. So don't forget to follow, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, click that bell button so you get notifications of when our videos come out. If you're listening on any podcast platform, do subscribe and do listen to the future episodes that are coming out. But I hope the first episode in particular has been a nice little warm welcome back to Bobble Pod, and I look forward to delving into more detail and insights and education in the next few episodes.